Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Embracing Wisdom with Stacie. That's me. Today we're going to talk about the power of a morning routine and filling a void. I've had a huge void in my life. So let's get started. Let's dig right in. I want to share with you how important a morning routine can be for setting the rest of your day for success. And I find that even despite having, all the surgeries that I had last year, I found that still incorporating a morning routine was absolutely paramount for my mental health. And I've never been a person who lounges around in like comfortable pajama clothes all day and watches TV. And that's just not who I am. And I believe that my tenacity for not being that way comes from my strengths. And I do have a podcast on the Strengths Finder test and how my top five strengths, three of those five are all in the executing domain. And they have to do with responsibility, discipline, and focus. So even if I'm struggling physically, I have an innate need to fill those three strengths to the utmost ability every day: responsibility, discipline, and focus. So my morning routine hasn't changed a ton, even though my life has completely changed. Prior to the hip surgery, the fourth one, I was working 6 days a week. I was driving hundreds of miles every day, teaching yoga in assisted living. I was active. I was walking 20 to 25,000 steps per day. I was doing this strength training program that was absolutely rocked my world, got me in the best shape of my life. And all of that came to a screeching halt when it was evident that my hip was not going to cooperate with the healing process. And so my overall day looks very different currently, but my routines have stayed the same. And so I want to walk you just through a day in my life. What does my life look like? And maybe you'll pull some of these ideas into your own life if you're feeling like you need some structure, you need some accountability, you need to have a little of my discipline. I have plenty. I'll give you some. So the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I drink a ginormous glass of water. I like to stay hydrated. So I drink my water while my coffee brews. And now while my coffee is brewing, there is an aspect to mindfulness that begins right away. I don't just like slam the coffee into the machine and just stand there groggy. I am paying very close attention to pouring the water in, the fresh water that I just got out of my faucet, so available. So there's some gratitude already starting to seep in the first 10 minutes of my morning. I'm acknowledging how easy it is for me to turn on my water and fill this amazing machine that makes the most delicious nectar ever. While my coffee is brewing, I I smell it. I can already start to get excited about the taste that's going to come. And then I have my favorite roller of essential oil blends. I have a roll on type bottle for my essential oils. And I've been wearing the same blend of five oils for 18, 19 years. So if you've been around me and you've smelled me, this is what you're smelling. And these are an amazing blend of oils and they work in so many different ways. And I have more to say about that. But while my coffee's brewing, I put the oils on my wrists and I rub. So I'm stimulating and getting the oils to get into my skin, into my bloodstream. I take a couple breaths and I fired up my amygdala. I've got the oils going through my bloodstream. My coffee's brewing. Already my routine is starting to fall into place. And then I sit down with my delicious coffee. My cat Leo sits on my lap every single morning and I open up my planner. Now, even though I'm not working every day in assisted living, I'm not getting in my car and going somewhere every day, I still have a plan. Every single day I have a plan. What am I going to accomplish that day? Where am I going to find joy that day? What's my affirmation? What am I grateful for? And my highlight of the day. So today's Monday, and my highlight of my day is I had a doctor's appointment. So I knew my affirmation was going to lean towards an affirmation of speaking confidently and clearly to my doctor. I needed to be present and clear for that. I'm grateful to have access to medicine, access to providers that listen. So you can see, like, my plan is starting to become a mindful practice of acknowledging what is good in my life. And then I had some errands to run. So I made sure I wrote those errands down. And then I want to get a couple things done business wise, record the podcast, get some things done around the house, and I write those down. Now, I don't write down so many things that I know I'm never going to accomplish them because I found in my life of doing it this way, if I fill up today so far that I feel overwhelmed, nothing gets done. So usually my day consists of 5 or 6 things that I will get done today. And it could be simple things like doing laundry, feeding my sourdough starter, making an essential oil blend, planning a yoga class, writing a blog post, whatever it is. So I write that down. Then I put in my headphones and I put on guided meditations that focus on affirmations for healing, for peace of mind, for abundance, for gratitude. I pop them in and I start crocheting. So as I'm listening every single morning, this is the same thing. As I'm listening, I'm crocheting, I'm doing something, but the messages are coming into my brain for an hour. Or if I don't have yarn to crochet with, I do a jigsaw puzzle on my iPad, and I'm very deliberate about not putting social media on my iPad. I certainly could, but I choose not to. I use my iPad as a way to have my planner available, my budget, what I'm going to do every day, what I'm grateful for, and jigsaw puzzles. Might seem a little silly to have this amazing device and really only do 2 things with it, but I don't want to get sucked down the rabbit hole of social media while my brain is still acclimating to a new day. So I do the jigsaw puzzle or I crochet while I'm listening for about an hour to these affirmations. By now, it's, 7-ish, have another cup of coffee, kinda get my groove on, start to move my body a little bit. I always do the 6 directions of the spine. I talk about it all the time in my yoga classes. For vitality and health, we have to do 6 directions of the spine every day. So I've been doing that. I do some mindful breathing, intentional breathing, 3 to 5 minutes. I just sit and I breathe a little deeper than I normally do. And then it's time to go. It's time to get up and I get ready for my day. Now, I'm not going to a corporate job. I'm not going anywhere important. But if I stayed in my pajamas all day or even half the day, I would feel so unmotivated and so lazy. And if you do this, I'm not saying you're lazy, but for me, it doesn't work for me. I need to get up, put my lipstick on, curl my hair, slap some mascara on, and go about my day as if I have a, a day job. So I get ready and I'm intentional about this because when I'm laying around in my pajamas, I feel sick, I feel unhealthy, I feel lazy, I feel like doing nothing, I'm not motivated. And then pretty soon, like half the day is gone. And even when I was a single mom, or I was a young mom married and I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have, this big job, especially when I stayed home with my kiddos when they were babies. I still got up every day and put clothes on. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even have a car. My husband and I shared one car, but I had a routine. I get up, I take a shower, I put lipstick on, and I get ready for my day. And it has served me so well to do this. Now I get ready for my day, put my lipstick on, curl my hair, put on clothes. They might be yoga clothes, they're comfortable clothes, but they're clothes that I could go to an appointment in or go grocery shopping in or work in, and I'm going to feel good about who I am. Now, when we feel good about who we are and we feel that we have set up our morning to be successful, we have a plan for our day, we've moved our body, we've put on essential oils, we've had our quiet meditation time, affirmation time, we've acknowledged the good in our life, we're dressed and ready to roll, we're unstoppable. It's 8 a.m. and I'm ready. I'm ready for the day. And then I go for a walk. And pretty much 365 days a year, I go for a walk. If it's cold, I bundle up. If it's hot, I wear a tank top. Currently, I'm walking with a crutch. It doesn't matter. I put gloves on if it's cold, whatever. I just go for a walk every single day. Then when my walk is done, I'm ready to begin. I'm ready to hit my to-do list and start knocking it out. Halfway through the day, I eat something because I typically don't eat until midday. I eat lunch. I go for a short walk, which is just usually just to get fresh air. I might even be just meandering through my garden, checking out what's growing, maybe watering some plants. But I get up and move midday. I don't stay seated all day. I definitely don't watch television during the day. Television to me is something I do when all my work is done. When everything I've set out to accomplish is finished, I might turn the television on, but it's just not my nature. It's not, I'm not drawn to being entertained during the day. So then I come back to my to-do list. I start crossing off what I've accomplished, and then I look at what's left and I spend the afternoon targeting those things. Then evening comes, I make a great dinner, then I might turn on the television, then I go to bed. But I know that before I cook dinner, I go through my to-do list that I set out that morning, my intentions for the day, and I make sure that they're all done. It is incredibly rare that anything from today gets moved to tomorrow. I accomplish what I set out to do. Now that sends a message to my mental health, my spiritual health, my emotional health, that I am in control. I am creating the life of my dreams. I am the one that's responsible for me. And I'm the one that's responsible for my happiness. I'm not looking for external factors. I'm not looking for somebody to do the work for me. I'm not looking to be rescued, to be taken care of. I'm in control of my life. Now, if I got up on a different day and I had no plan and no rhyme or reason to my day, I would not be productive. This works for me. So if you're not accustomed to a list of to-dos, try it. Get a sticky note. Just write down 3 things you want to do tomorrow. And it could just be a simple thing like go to the grocery store, bake a cake, pull some weeds. It doesn't have to be, brain surgery. Just set out to do something and then notice how you feel, observe how you feel when you cross it off. Because I would like to say, I guarantee you'll feel pretty great about yourself, especially if you're not motivated. You can look back at your day and say, I did 3 amazing things today. So let's talk about the void that I mentioned. Since I'm not working in assisted living currently, and I've only worked, maybe 4 months out of the last year total. And this was my life for 18 years. I was going in and out of assisted living, sitting with people with dementia, Alzheimer's, rubbing people's feet, supporting people with traumatic brain injuries to move their body, if that meant me moving it for them, whatever it was, but it was my life. And all of a sudden that's gone. And I realized it's not so much the doing that is gone. It's the feeling that I get while I'm doing it, a feeling of purpose, a feeling of service, a feeling of doing something for someone else that I know is of benefit. It is taking my skill set, my heart, my goodness, and sharing it with people. And that has been a huge void in my life. Part of my daily routine has always been service. It has always been doing for others. And now all of a sudden that's gone. So a couple months ago, I realized I have to find a way to give to others. I have to find a way for this outlet to be met, to be able to feel as though I'm contributing to the greater good, especially when the climate of the world right now is so what it is. I felt that if I could provide a drop of goodness to other people's lives, the ripple effect would happen. I would be creating a culture of goodness, a culture of greatness, an opportunity to spread something that's not negative and toxic. So I started crocheting. I found this box of yarn in my closet, started crocheting hats. And that led me to an organization that every Saturday they serve a population of people that don't have homes, that are hungry and cold in our community, my community. And they have a church service and then they feed them a meal. So I think I've crocheted over 100 hats. I had a lot of yarn. I know I don't have any more yarn. I have to go buy it, but it's joyful to pick something new. And I bake bread. And so I'm baking every other Saturday. loaves and loaves of bread. And when I go down to deliver, right before the church service, the kitchen crew is kind of setting up this big meal for whoever was welcome. Anybody from the community can go. And I realized a couple weeks ago when I brought my loads of bread in and my hats that I had done, there was so much joy in their eyes knowing that fresh bread was available to them and that warm hats were there, and they may not be the most perfect hats. You know, you probably wouldn't pay more than $5 for one, but it doesn't matter because they're warm and they're made with love. And it's part of my mindfulness practice in the morning as I'm listening to affirmations. I am whole, I am strong, I am worthy, I am good. As I listen, I stitch that into a pattern, into a hat that somebody's going to wear on their head. That's magic. And that has filled the void for me, and knowing that my ability to have enough flour to share with other people and resources to share with other people has filled a huge void in my life. So it's part of what makes me me, and it's part of why I'm focused and disciplined and responsible. And it comes back to that daily routine, having a plan, having an intention for my day, setting my life up and my environment up so that I can create my day, which leads to me creating my weeks, my months, my years, my life. I'm not expecting it to be landed in my lap. I'm going out there and making it happen. I'm making my life be what I want it to be, which is a life of service, of movement, of joy, of gratitude, peace and calm. Like those are my things. Like those are my things. And I have to create that. So that's why my daily routine is so important to me. And I hope that you'll consider a sticky note to start. And you don't have to go out and buy a $40 planner or an iPad and use it for two things. A sticky note works great. At the end of the day, cross it off. Look at what you've accomplished. Look at what you have created for your life. And then do it again tomorrow. And then notice how you feel when a week goes by and you can look at your sticky notes that have had accomplishments. And you don't have to go bake bread or crochet hats for homeless people, but you could write a letter to somebody. You could pick up the phone and call a neighbor. You could rake a leaf in somebody's yard that you know is not capable of raking. You could pick up trash. You could smile. There's so many ways that we can serve. And I do believe this. We all are here to give to others. We get to choose what we give. We get to choose. And I'm hoping that if you're listening to this, you're choosing to give a version of goodness because it will make a difference in the world. All right, that's what I got for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you next week. Next week it's going to be another fun episode of Q&A. So ask me anything and I'll either decide if I'm going to answer it or not, but we'll have fun with it. All right, take care. Have a beautiful day and I will see you, talk to you, visit with you next week. Be sure to comment below, subscribe, share these because you never know who might benefit. All right, have a great day. See ya. Bye.